is going to be an e4 opening. So if you play d4 or knight f3 or English, sucks for you. Click off the video. Just kidding. Or not. It's good to try new things. Try new openings. You play the same thing every single time, chess becomes boring. Why would you make a game that is so not boring? Why would you ruin it? Don't do that. All right, so e4, if you give this a try, you might face the French defense. Very common, deployed in the candidates multiple times already. I've been waiting to make this video. I told myself the next break in the candidates, I'm making the video and dropping it. My students are excited for this. I'm excited for this. French has been deployed multiple times already in the candidates. So the way I stumbled across this is I knew Bobby Fischer liked playing the King's Indian attack against the French defense. So I switched around some move orders, then went off on a tangent, as all chess players do, and then figured out a new opening on move 4 that is very aggressive and very not likely to draw. We're Balkan. We hate draws. Why would you go for a draw? I don't understand. Okay, so d5, the French defense. They set up this pawn chain facing the queen side. So in the French defense, their pawn chain faces the queen side. They attack on the queen side. That's kind of how chess goes. Now we're going to go d3. Looks strange. Still in the database, move 3. The only move black has here that is good is de4. And then we have some queenless middle games in the Masters database that we're not going to get into. We like aggressive chess. Knight g5, the Balkan Gambit, a new opening, move 4. Good stuff. Comment down below what deviations your opponents make. This is going to be a main line video. I can make any line work, any move order work. This opening is fine for white. The best move black has is ed3, and I believe this is what most people will play. Why not pick up a pawn? So we recapture the pawn on d3, bishop takes d3. As you can see, we're already ahead in development. We have the open d file that we can use to punish their queen if they go on some crazy deviation. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to say h6 is played. People don't like knights all up in their territory. So they're like, I'm going to gain a tempo. I'm going to kick it out. I have a pawn on h6. I don't need to worry about a fork, a pin. We've all lost to forks and pins before at every level. So h6, kicking the knight out, except we don't go back. We always go forward, meaning queen h5. This is a multi-purpose move. By the way, there's multiple brilliancies in this gambit. So by move 10, you can rack up like 3 brilliancies. I'm so happy I found this. Queen h5, though, pins the h-pawn to the rook. So if they take our knight, we take their rook, we win. We are also threatening mate in 1. So they have 3 ways to get out of this. 1, queen d7 guarding the pawn. 2, queen e7 guarding the pawn. And 3, g6. g6 is the worst of the 3, and I think the most likely, so we're going to begin with this. How do you win here as white? Well, they already went h6, so they weakened g6. What do you do when they weaken g6? You sacrifice. Bishop takes g6, the first brilliancy awarded by chess.com. Now, if they take, you take, and black has to pick their poison. Do they want to get checkmated in 1 move, or do they want to get checkmated in like 10? The choice is theirs. So generous of white. King to d6, you castle. You're going to pick up the queen because the king is in front of the queen. If the king moves from being in front of the queen, by the way, another brilliancy. So bishop takes g6, brilliancy, castles, brilliancy, and then wait till you see the last one. Queen f3, marching the king over to the side of the board. And after king b6, brilliancy number 3, b4. This is amazing. The coordination of the pieces in this gambit is unreal. So unreal. I'm so excited for this. I love chess. So, if g6, bishop takes g6, they can go knight f6, attacking the queen. And here, do not go bishop takes f7. It's tricky, but your queen will be under attack at the end of the day. So go knight takes f7. The knight can take the queen, but our knight can also take the queen with check, and their knight is on the side of the board. So at the end of the day, they cannot castle. We're going to punish them on the d file. They have an isolated pawn on the e file. That is probably going to turn into a backwards pawn once we control e5. Our bishop is a sniper on h5. White is nearly winning. The other moves they have, well, they have queen e7 stopping mate. And now look at this. Knight takes f7. Boom. You might say, hey, that's another brilliancy. You would be correct. You might say, hey, that loses a knight. You would be incorrect. Don't be incorrect. As though, I mean, we all are in chess sometimes. But bishop g6, you win the queen. So here you're just winning. They can't go knight f6 because bishop takes queen. You win the king. queen with check. Now, what else could they do? Not much. They can go knight f6, attacking the queen. They could do that, but knight to d6, a double check, so they cannot take your queen. They'd have to move their king, and then you take the bishop. If they take your queen, you take their queen. And again, their knight is on the side of the board, so you stand better. You will win this game because their coordination is very poor. If they go, what else could they do? Queen b4 check, you go c3, same ordeal. If they go king takes, you would go queen h3, pinning the e-pawn to the king. Their coordination is just very bad, and you will checkmate them. So good stuff. Now, the coolest one is if they go queen d7. Now you go knight takes f7, and the same thing could happen. I'm just shocked at how everything is a brilliancy in this line. Like, I came up with this just because I was like, hey, knight g5 looks cool. And then everything worked out. It was so awesome. So here, if they pin you, look at this. Knight e5 check, not a double check. So they could pick up the queen. And now do not blunder knight takes d7 because they'll be up a piece. You have to go bishop g6 check first. If they block with the queen, you take with check and then win the knight because your knight guards the bishop. So they move their king. You take the queen. They take your knight. You take their knight. Same ordeal. Isolated pawn on the e-file. Poor position by black. Bad pawn structure. Holes in the position. We have not committed a pawn, so our pawn structure is very, very good. And this is the main line of the Balkan Gambit. Give it a try.